Hi everybody, today we have something different. Brace yourselves, because we are tackling a math question from One Piece. This question is so absurdly confounding that it made thousands of mathematicians throw up their hands, give up their calculators, and retire to quiet, secluded lives. But first, let's set the stage with a little help from our man Tonjit. I mean, this guy. Yes, you know him. He's the guy who decided to stand on some stilts and couldn't come down for 10 years.
その期間10年。
10年もずっと竹馬に乗ってたのか?
That's right, a decade on stilts. Now that we all established that Tonjit is an idiot. Sorry, you are great. Please go on.
ここはロングリングロングランドという島だ。ようこそ。
どうも。
この島はそもそも長いリング状の島なんだが、普段は海によって10個の島に区切られている。だが年に一度だけ潮が大きく引く日があり、島はその日数時間だけ一つの島として本来の姿を取り戻す。俺たちはそこを狙って3年に一度島から島へと移住するのだ。
Picture this. A ring-shaped land made up of 10 small islands connected by magical land bridges that only appear once a year. There is also a nomad who hops from one island to the next every 3 years. Makes sense? Anyway, Tonjit apparently hung around with the nomad before his stilt adventure.
せめて一頭の馬がいれば、1年おきに島を渡ってみんなを追えば5年もあれば追いつくんだが。
Now here's Tonjit's claim. He could catch up with the nomad in just 5 years by jumping one island per year. So the question that's melting mathematicians' minds is this. Based on all the information above, how much time has passed from Tonjit's arrival on the island to when he decided, you know what, I think I'll go stand on some stilts for 10 years. If you are brave enough to give this puzzle a go, hit the pause button, but I don't suggest it. It's a stupid puzzle. Alright, let's dive in. I could use some mind-bending modular arithmetic here, but why put myself through the madness that made all those other mathematicians throw in the towel, right? So let's do this the Tonjit way. Nice and dumb. We will number these islands from 0 to 9 and put Tonjit on island 0. Then we add a time axis, like a little timeline for the nomad's wanderings. The nomad starts at island 0 at time 0 and hops over to the next island every 3 years. Let's say that at some point x on the time scale, x is between 0 and 3 years, Tonjit had his brilliant eureka moment, deciding, you know what would be way cooler than walking? 10 years on stilts. So actually, we are trying to figure out what x is. Anyway, this means, right at the time Tonjit come off the stilts, the nomad would be at 10 plus x years in the time scale. Now, if Tonjit actually knows what he is talking about, and that's a big if, we'll assume he means 10 years and 5 years, give or take a couple of weeks. So when he says he can reach the nomad in 5 years, we assume 5 years plus minus a couple of weeks. This means x has to be close to an integer. Because if x were off, say, by 6 months, like here, 2.5 years, there would still be another half a year for the next tide, and always a year for the tides after. This means you would not reach the nomad at an integer number of years, but an integer plus half a year. So we know x has to be at least in one of these time ranges. If x is slightly larger than an integer like right here, here or here, then after almost a year, the tide would come and Tonjit would move to island 1. Meanwhile, the nomad would move forward almost a year as well. After 2 years, Tonjit is on island 2 and the nomad moves another year. This way, Tonjit would reach the nomad in 4, 5 and 5 years respectively. This means x could be in these two ranges, but not in this one. If x is slightly smaller than an integer like here, here or here, then the nomad would be around these positions instead. In this case, Tonjit lands on island 1 just a few days later, while the nomad has barely moved on the timescale. After a year, Tonjit reaches island 2 and the nomad has moved forward a year. Following this, Tonjit would technically catch the nomad on islands 4, 5 and 5, but in only 3, 4 and 4 years respectively and not 5 years. So x cannot be in any of these time ranges because Tonjit caught up to them before 5 years. Does this mean the answer is these two time ranges? Did we solve this stupid question? Actually, no. Because we are only halfway through this. Tonjit could also try the other direction and catch the nomad from the opposite side. But wait, we can rule out these time ranges because I assume he's not dumb enough to go in the opposite direction and make it longer, while by going forward after the nomad, he can catch up to them in less than 5 years. Stop that! So luckily, we still have only two choices. X has to be here or here. After a year, Tonjit would be on Island 9. Meanwhile, the Nomad would move forward almost a year as well. Continuing like this, Tonjit would meet the Nomad at Island 5 in exactly 5 years. So in both cases, forward and backwards, these two time ranges give the same answer of 5 years. There you have it. It has to be a little more than either 1 or 2 years from Tonjit's arrival on the island to when he decided to stand on some stilts. If you made it this far in the video, you are one in a million. I applaud you. To help us reach 1000 subscribers, please hit that subscribe button and don't forget to like this video. It really helps us out. Thank you very much and catch you next time in another One Piece related stupid thing.